Hello, I'm Vanessa from Ishoni London Tutors, and I'm here today with our tutor Catherine. She's from London. She's also completely fluent in French, and she's a native speaker of English. She spent some time teaching in Japan on the JET program. Catherine has a really interesting day job. Could you tell us about it?
Yes, I work as a learning assistant for families at the National Army Museum, which is based in London in Chelsea, but won't be reopened until the end of 2016.
So it's closed right now?
So it's closed right now for redevelopment, that's right. And I'm a trainee for both the museum and the Cultural Corporation. And this year I'm helping with the detailed design of an early years facility and the development and production of programs and resources for families hoping to visit after reopening.
I see. So what ages are the materials for?
0 to 12. 0 to 12 is what most museums would define as families.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to coming into the National Army Museum when it reopens, because it's one I've never been to. London's museums are such a brilliant resource for people looking to improve their English and understand more about the culture, but there's so many it can be a bit overwhelming. Could you tell us your top recommendations?
Sure. I think the British Museum, Jeffrey Museum and the V&A would be my top three for visiting families or ESL learners.
Yes.
Firstly, the British Museum, which has different kinds of backpacks that you can pick up at the information counter to take around the museum. So the information counters at the British Museum, there are a few, but it actually has a family-specific one, which is right near the entrance. And
so you go straight to the family counter and ask for materials for your children.
That's right. So they have them for babies and a variety of resources for children up to 12 years old. They offer activities for children so that they can engage with the objects, such as match the vase with the silhouette in the pack, and a reproduction of an ancient game of knucklebones, which is held in the museum's collection. So it makes things more tangible.
Yes, so that the kids can actually play with things in the bag and engage.
And as they were supposed to be used.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Okay.
And the Jeffrey Museum, which is based in Hackney, is a really interesting old building to visit and offers lots of portable Jeffrey Explorer materials. There are rooms showing British living rooms with all the furniture and accessories at different periods of history, and they have free to borrow backpacks, hampers and bags with activities inside for children 3 and over, while for older children they have quizzes and trails and feely boxes full of objects and even a tour that you can take around the museum and sort of travels through time.
They have a lot of things.
They have a lot of things, but I would recommend checking their website before you visit because it's always changing.
So, and all of these things are free?
All of these things are free, including the stay and play sessions that they facilitate. So parents and carers can go to sessions with their kids, with their little ones, and it's about helping the parents engage with the collection and their children all together.
Yes,
so it's really good.
That sounds brilliant. What about people who aren't visiting with children and just want to use their time at a museum to improve their English?
In this case, I would really highly recommend the V&A British Galleries, 1500 to 1900. This was one of the first galleries, really, to build in learning outcomes into its design. And it's engaging for both families and adults without children. It offers lots of interactive activities, such as create your own monogram.
What's that?
So a monogram, I don't know if you've seen on very fine silverware, the sort of initials of the creator or maybe the patron. And by doing such activities, you actually understand the process that went into skillfully making these items, and you become an interpreter and a creator in these kinds of activities. That's really good learning.
Very hands-on and
really
historical.
Yeah.
I see.
They also have key videos for certain objects. So you can go see, for example, a cabinet and watch a short video which gives you really specific information about aspects of it. And it's a really good tool for maybe people who haven't got advanced English and can't read a large
they don't want
text.
to just read
exactly.
a huge amount, but they are still interested.
But they still really want to know about it.
Sure, that sounds brilliant. What else can you do that's quite physically engaging.
Yeah, so they also have lots of try-on activities. So one of them was try on a ruff, the typical Tudor English stereotypical idea.
In the kind of neck
Yeah.
gear, okay, yeah.
And these are usually hanging on, and they're very accessible. If you're worried about your English, you don't have to worry about interacting with somebody to get a hold of these. It's very accessible to anyone who wants to try.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that there are some listening guides and apps available.
That's true. So in the British galleries themselves, you've got lots of listening. I don't know how to products where you can listen to historical music.
I see.
But there's also the standard audio guides in most museums that you'll find, as well as apps that you can
So
find.
that's good because you can kind of rewind and listen again.
Exactly.
It's really good listening practice. And the apps that are available mean that you can prepare for your visit before you go.
You can, and you can prepare before you go, and it also means that, well, with a lot of the newer apps, they try to make people engage more. So it's not somebody stuck to their phone. They're having to look up and take pictures, and there's all sorts of software being developed to really engage.
That sounds very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing your
welcome.
top tips.